For the LCD digitizer repair, they manufacture this as one unit. So whether you've dropped and broken the either or LCD or digitizer, or the LCD is unresponsive, or the digitizer maybe works in some parts, or the LCD is white or black, I mean, this is the repair you'll want to do. You need to heat this off, and so we'll go through the whole process. There's two other repairs on this video that also require you to heat the LCD digitizer unit off, and so this is the way you'll do those repairs as well. So you have the phone here, broken or damaged, however it may be, and you'll want to make sure that you take everything out of the phone that can be taken out. So your headset, the headset jack, and the speaker. That's on another repair if you need to see how to change that out. And then we'll take the antenna out right now, but that will also be on another repair. So I'm not going to go into detail on how to remove this, but you do need to take it out. So we'll take that out and set it aside. And then what you'll want to be careful of is this unit down here. You don't want to overheat that. And this cable runs to your navigation flex cable down here. So when we heat this off and start to separate this unit from the frame, we'll start at the top, because you don't want to start down here and gouge into that, or you may end up damaging that. So just keep in mind that we're going to heat it up, but start at the top and then kind of work our way down. I'm going to put my glove on. You can use any kind of glove. I use a batting glove, but this is just so I can hold on to the phone while I'm heating it and not burn my hand. And then you'll also want to either use eye protection glasses, something, just because of cases like this where the glass, if you go to take a piece out and it shoots off and hits you in the eye, it'll definitely hurt. So you just want to just kind of be prepared. And again, I have a heat gun. You can use a hair dryer, but heat guns work, I think, a little better for this. So anyways, we'll get started. So you want to remember to not keep the heat gun in one spot. You want to constantly be moving it around. You want to heat up as much of the phone as possible. And on this frame, you have adhesive. It's a double-sided adhesive holding the frame in place. And then you also have an adhesive on the back of the phone, on the back of the LCD, attached to the frame. So you want to heat both of those up kind of equally in order to release the LCD and digitizer off of this. So you want to keep a fair distance, probably I'd say 6 to 8 inches away. Always moving the heat gun so you don't damage anything. You can definitely melt the frame. You can melt the cables. So you want to keep it moving, kind of keep it going around, and I will tend to flip it back and forth to go in between the two. So keep that. And depending on what you're using, if it's a heat gun or a hair dryer, you know, it could take you a minute to a couple minutes, 3-4 minutes, just to get enough heat on it to start to melt the adhesive to allow you to be able to get the separation. So we'll try that initially. So I get that. I get my guitar pick, and the digitizer itself, the glass, you will be able to get separation between that and the frame with the guitar pick. So you just want to get it in a spot and get it under there and just start kind of working it. Now if it's all one piece, you'll probably have a better time, because this, if it's shattered and broken, it's going to take you quite a while to get this whole unit off. So if I know I'm going to be replacing it, sometimes I'll go in the back here and just get underneath the frame and get something to separate it to allow me to lift the LCD up on this side, so then I can get my guitar pick underneath that LCD, so I'm not having to sit here and break away that glass to try to get under there. So you want to, but it does have to be hot enough, because if you don't heat all this up, you can and will break your LCD. So I start that. I'll kind of start working it down here, lifting up as I slide down on the guitar pick. And what'll happen is, over time it's going to cool, and then that adhesive is going to strengthen back up. So you'll need to probably reapply the the heat to it every maybe every couple minutes, so you get a little bit of progress. And then you don't want to force it, especially especially if you're trying to salvage your LCD digitizer, because if you try to go too much, then you will end up actually breaking it. So just kind of little by little. Remember, always moving the heat gun, move it around. And on the back side. Okay, we'll try that out, see how that goes. So again, the reason I also use 2 guitar picks is because one I can leave in here and leave the separation and get a second one, so I'm not kind of losing progress. I can just keep going from where I was and keep moving. So remember, we start at the top, move our way down. Now there's your plug to the board, your LCD plug, so you want to be careful of that. You want to be able to lift that and keep going. Now you can see the adhesive of how it's attached to the board itself. So with that, you want to lift that off, pull that adhesive off, set your old LCD down. That's going to be the tricky part. You may get lucky and this may come off in all one piece, or you may have to work at it and get it right in the side here, minding that there is that cable underneath, and you can actually see it. I'm going to show you right here. Let's see if we can go to the close-up and look and see if that cable is visible. Let's see here. Let's see. See that corner of it right there, right by my thumbnail? You see just the outline of it? That cable is your navigation keys. If you lift up on the bottom of this, you'll actually end up tearing that, and you have to replace that as well. So just know that there's that cable under there. So we'll go back to the main shot, and I'm going to get under here and try to get some separation on that cable itself. And once I get this off, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But so let's lift. It does take a couple of times to get this right, but I just want to show you, not every repair is straightforward and easy. The other thing that you'll also want to do, and this will I'll cover in detail once I get it, but you're going to want to make sure your board is entirely clean. You don't want any little piece of glass. Like you see it right here. See that piece of glass right there? Any size glass can actually break your replacement LCD or digitizer. If you have anything, you try to force it on together, you'll end up breaking that. So here is the frame all together. Here's the cable I'm talking about. This is your navigation flex cable right down at the bottom. And it's only attached by that little cable right there. So it goes from this side, goes onto that cable, and we'll flip it around. And this is the rest of it right here. So your microphone, all this right here, that's all connected. And then this cable is your navigation flex cable, or I'm sorry, your motherboard flex cable. So this connects your navigation flex cable, runs up here, and then right here and connects to the board. So either way, if you needed to replace either one of these cables, this is also how you get here. So let's take my glove off and we'll kind of go into detail on those repairs, so that way you can see what we're talking about with those. So I'll go to the close-up here and we'll see how these cables connect. So it's right here. You want to lift that up, gently push it back, and then if you were wanting to replace the motherboard flex cable, you can just kind of pop that up and through. Same with the top side. You want to push this part, you're going to push that down and through that hole. I'll get my tweezers here, pull it back, and then you can take that out, line it up with the new one, and put it back in. So there's that. And then this one the same way. But so once you get the board nice and clean, the frame's all clean, and we'll go back to the main shot. And you'll want to apply new adhesive. So again, I'll double or triple check all this just to make sure that this is 100% clean. And what I'll do sometimes is get a toothbrush and just run it down the sides, run it over, and you'll see little pieces of glass kind of flying off the board. And all that glass is potential to damage your replacement part. So once you get that, you're going to get your new LCD. Take it out of its package. And there's going to be this adhesive on the bottom. It's basically, this is a cover for the adhesive. So you want to peel this whole sticker off pretty much, and it's going to be sticky underneath. The other thing, sometimes your the holes for the sensor, the light sensor, those may have adhesive over those, and you want to get that off as well. So anywhere that you see this film over any part of the phone, you want to make sure you remove it, so that way the phone sticks properly. This film right here, you can leave that. That's for all the fuses and the components on the back of the LCD cable. So you want to set that aside. And the last step before you put the board on is your adhesive. If your phone, the new part comes with adhesive, you can just peel it right off and kind of line the edges up, and you'll get it right in place. If it doesn't, you want to cut little strips of adhesive so you can adhere the sides of the phone all down here, down there, and then on the very bottom and the very top, and around the speaker. You don't want to cover the speaker dust cover up, but you want to just make sure all the adhesive is all around there. And then we'll get our new part, bend the LCD plug just to make sure you get it through there. And this, you want to be extremely careful when lining all this up, because any pressure that's over what it should be, you'll damage this whole part, and then you have to replace it. So once you get it all lined up and everything is exactly where it should be, you just press it together, kind of get it all in place, and that should be it. You should be able to test it and then have your LCD replaced. But that is how you do the LCD digitizer repair.